Nice, right? The Dallas Cowboys, your Dallas Cowboys, are coming to to a slot machine near you. The most popular team in Texas. I didn't say the best because I don't even think they're the best professional team in Texas. Football, that is. The most popular team in Texas, the most popular team in the game today, will be on a slot machine that you can't play in Texas. There's everything comical and pathetic about this entire little story. So they're on a slot machine. You just can't play it here. It's, is it smart? I would say it's both genius and goofy marketing by your Dallas Cowboys. But it does, in the process of being probably both genius and goofy, it does highlight another pathetic reality. And the story just came out a few weeks ago, oddly enough. But it points out the Cowboys doing this deal with a slot machine company really should make all of you aware of something, and that is gambling and sports are an absolute way of life. Gambling has made the NFL the popular content provider that it is, the most popular content provider in this country, by far. Business has never been better, I would say largely because of gambling. It's good business, and whether you think morally, and I certainly respect your right to think it's a bad idea on any number of levels, even though whatever you think of it morally, and even though the Cowboys are on slot machines, legalized betting, you need to know this, legalized betting is not coming to Texas no matter how popular it is. You're going to think, and everyone keeps making this mistake, and I just try to pour water on it, because it doesn't make any sense numerically, but I can do this. I can help you understand how screwed up this state really is. So you're thinking, well, maybe if the Cowboys are involved in stuff like this, maybe that would be some sort of momentum to get gambling legalized in the state of Texas. It's not going to happen. A story just came out a few weeks ago. I'm sure because plenty of people thought when Mark Cuban, oddly enough, the team that just got run over in the NBA Finals, when Mark Cuban sold the Dallas Mavericks to the Adelson family. You don't know who that is, but they are a huge gaming family that owns, I believe, the Sands Company. They own Palazzo. They own the Venetian in Vegas. They are a huge gambling player. They set up roots in Texas. I assume they're the ones that hired your favorite, Rick Perry, Rick the Animal Pointy Boots Perry, to be a spokesperson to pitch gambling in the state of Texas. I'm sure most people, again, if you looked at the popular opinion, you looked at the fact that the money is behind it, you looked at the fact that the Adelsons are giving money to your Republican politicians right and left, you're thinking, okay, well, now it's a done deal. No, it's not. It won't happen. They're going to be confused. So you're going to hear this, and it's going to be funny, and it's going to be goofy, and then some of you are going to take it seriously and say, well, gosh, Jeff, if the Cowboys are involved in the slot machine business, if there are slot machine ads all over the place, surely there's momentum to push gambling to be legalized in the state of Texas. No. You might say, the Cowboys organization can promote gambling. And the Cowboys can have gambling partnerships and advertise gambling products all over their stadium. They can. They can have gambling products, and now slot machines, advertising all over their broadcast. But legalized betting is the devil in Texas. Got it? No, that's not what most people believe, Jeff. Most people don't matter. This is where everyone gets it wrong. I know. It's an easy thing to fall into. You would assume that majority would matter. You assume the job creation would matter. You would assume those things would matter, but they don't. They don't. Okay? The primary reason gambling is not legal and will not be legal, I don't care how much noise is made. I don't care how popular it is. I don't care how married to slot machines the Cowboys become. It's not going to be legal in Texas, even though it's legal in most other states. And the reason this happens, depending on how old you are, the reason it doesn't happen, it's not going to happen, is either your rural grandmother or it's your rural mother's fault. There. Either it's your grandmother's fault or it's your mom's fault. That's why. Assuming they live in rural areas. Let me explain. Here's the story of what's come out today. And I think, again, a lot of people are going to say, well, this is part of a big money machine that is pushing for gambling, and gambling runs politics. And that's, no, not true. You got it all wrong. You're thinking like the 97%. I'm going to tell you the 3% is what's deciding everything. Here's the story now. It's laugh all you want. Aristocrat Gaming. Can't make this stuff up, can you? I mean, you can just see old Jerry Jones selling this, can't you? Aristocrat Gaming and the Dallas Cowboys today announced a multi-year partnership naming the company as as an official partner of the Dallas Cowboys. Of course, then you put in parentheses, in the state in which you can't use the slot machine. Official Aristocrat Gaming will have prominent signage throughout the stadium. This is AT&T Stadium, year-round, including in-stadium, on the concourse, and in-game branding. Additional features will include in-game promotions, digital integrations, and game day activations at AT&T Stadium. And, it's kind of weird, isn't it, that you can have all this gambling stuff going on in the stadium, and they're incredibly active, and you're playing along, but you legally can't do it. Why would they advertise something you legally can't do? Because you'll go elsewhere and do it. That's why. So the experience will include a fully interactive multi-channel advertising venue. The player-favorite NFL-themed games are available to play at casinos nationwide and have demonstrated proven performance. The team selectable feature on the game, so you can pick your team, by the way, allows fans a new way to engage with their favorite team, the Cowboys, both in the stadium and on the reels, whatever that is. It goes on and on and on, blah, 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 blah. Here's the Executive Vice President of Business Operations for your Dallas Cowboys. His name is Chad Estes. He says, the Cowboys are excited to partner with Aristocrat Gaming to bring even more ways to entertain our fans, except actually betting, Chad. So you can't actually bet. It's not going to change. I don't care how much momentum is there. I don't care how much noise. I don't care how many Rick Perrys you hire. I don't care how many Adelson families move here. Just keep coming up with ideas. Just go ahead, keep throwing them at me. And I'm going to tell you, your grandmother's not going to let it happen. And she matters more than the Adelson family. She matters more than whoever this group is, Aristocrat Gaming. Your grandmother is deciding everything. She's not going to let marijuana and gambling happen in this state. You don't get it. You're thinking big picture. The big picture doesn't matter. So, okay. Let me explain why politics in Texas doesn't change. Won't change. I'm not going to say until they die off, because that would be mean. I'm just now talking about your mom and your grandmother. So, assuming they live in rural Texas. Okay? But here's why politics won't change at all. Doesn't matter the money, doesn't matter the momentum, doesn't matter the advertising, doesn't matter how important Jerry Jones and the Cowboys are, doesn't matter. Politics doesn't change in the state of Texas because the majority is not reflected at all, not even close. The majority, all the data says the majority would be in favor of legalizing marijuana. Won't happen. Majority, I think, would be in favor of legalizing sports betting like most other states in the United States, whatever you think about it morally. But the majority doesn't matter. It's not even close. If you just use marijuana and gambling as examples, we'll just use those two. If you put them up to a popular vote, right? You would say, Jeff, if we put them up to a popular vote, with or without this Cowboys thing, they both pass easily. That's true. Absolutely. I would say marijuana probably more so than gambling. We can argue about that, but I think a popular vote, that's exactly how it would play out. Yes. Doesn't matter. Both would be huge revenue sources, no doubt. Both would be big job creators, no doubt. Both being legalized would be one less burden for your court system, your jails, your law enforcement officers, your judges, the entire legal system. It would benefit there too. I like to say, as a taxpayer, it's not worth my money. Doesn't mean you have to be in favor of something. It's not worth your time and money to criminalize these behaviors, marijuana and gambling. It's not worth it for you, whether you do them or not. That doesn't matter either. There's a numerical reason why nothing will change. I think it should be required reading of everyone who moves here. I think it should be required reading of everybody above the age of 10. But I'll tell you what it is. Texas Monthly published a story titled 3% Governs Everything. This really should be required reading. Sadly, it explains everything. This is what's your grandmother's fault. So 3% govern everything. That's because, listen to me, 3% govern everything. In this case, marijuana and gambling. Let's just use marijuana and gambling because it's going to be talked about again with this story out of Dallas. Here's how it works. You've got to live this now. 3% of voters in Republican primaries decide everything. Okay? Those that win those primaries, almost all of them go on to win an election and re-election. 3% show up on those Republican primaries, and they all win. If you want to see who is voting, if you want to see how decisions are made, if you want to see why it is that most people would be in favor of job creators like legalized marijuana and legalized gambling, if you want to see why, as big a business as the two would be, if you want to see why it won't happen, go to rural fill-in-the-blank Texas, sit outside, get further away, and take a look at who's standing in line for Republican primary at some obscure elementary school. That's your decision. That's it. Because they will decide this won't happen. And what they decide is exactly what people who run for office and re-election, it's what they care about. Because if you don't get that 3%, you're out of a job in politics. And if you're out of a job in politics, you're not increasing your net worth. 3% governs everything, and 3% is not about to let legalized betting happen. Oh, hey, the story of the Cowboys is going to resonate with a lot of people. It's not going to resonate with your mom and your grandmother in Llano. No chance. It'll make her mad. She decides. She decides. Anyone wanting to be reelected in this state has to care about that 3% and that 3% only. To that old lady, okay, sorry, but to that old lady in rural Texas, marijuana and gambling are the devil. She's got Fox News on in a loop at her house. It's on all the time. She votes in those Republican primaries, and she gets what she wants. You're governed by 3%. 3%. I don't care how many slot machines the Cowboys are on. I don't care how many slot machines the Texans are on. I don't care how many rich people move here to launch casinos. I don't care how many times Rick Perry gives a goofball speech at the Capitol. That 3% is going to say no chance, no way.